I, 24 female, got my first apartment without roommates a couple of months ago. I finally got my stuff settled in last month, and I decided I'd invite my mom and stepdad over to celebrate having my first home. I should bring up, however, that I hate my stepdad's guts and always have. My stepdad came into my life less than 6 months after my dad died when I was 6. He was the classic gruff, stoic stepdad who never smiled and seemed to think that affection was a waste of time. He enforced many very strict rules, many of which he admitted he didn't have a reason for, apart from enforcing discipline. I wasn't allowed to listen to any music he didn't approve of or like, which ended up being most of what I liked. I wasn't allowed to have any friends over. I wasn't allowed to wear anything that showed my shoulders, thighs or stomach. Nobody was allowed to have the TV on during dinner. These are just a few of the rules we had, and he didn't drink or allow anyone in the house to drink, even me after I was 21. On the suggestion of one of my best friends, I decided to turn dinner into a chance to show him he couldn't control me anymore by breaking as many rules as I could. I also invited a friend to come to dinner. I warned them in advance we'd have extra company, so I wore a cropped tank top and this skirt that's 3 inches away from being a miniskirt. I bought some wine for myself, my friend and my mom. I had the TV on for all of dinner, as well as this song I've always loved that he never let me listen to. It's not inappropriate, it doesn't even have lyrics. He was visibly uncomfortable the entire time but didn't make any comments besides, "You really need to figure yourself out." My mom said nothing and even had some of the wine, but called me the day after. She said I was being petty and I should just let bygones be bygones or stop speaking to him. I planned to do that, but first, I wanted to show him how he doesn't own me. Applause for the petty. LOL. Malicious compliance with my house, my rules. And I love it and am 100% here for it. You are not the idiot. However, the biggest idiot here isn't your stepfather, it's your mother who let this guy misbehave for years. 100% agree, Mom is the biggest idiot for allowing the stepdad to treat her daughter like that over the years. Dad dies and she moves this guy in pretty quickly. I've often thought that if I lose my husband that it would take someone absolutely incredible for me to choose them as my next partner. The way they treat my children is top of the list. Maybe it's loneliness or a need to be loved by other people, but the moment a potential partner mistreats my children, he would be out the door, his head would spin. OP's mother should be ashamed. Some people let others treat their kids like crap so they aren't alone. I never understood it, but it happens. She picked her husband over her daughter and was content if it wasn't aimed at her. Sounds as if OP is going to go low contact or no contact after this, which is probably for the best. Congrats on the freedom to be your own person and listen to whatever music you want. I disagree, you are the idiot. The rules that you listed are not unreasonable per se, and many households have similar ones. Your behaviour, however, shows how immature and easily influenced you are to conduct yourself in that manner in what should have been a welcomed invitation to them both into your new home. That's idiotic behaviour all around. I don't really see the point of the crap OP did. Why invite someone you don't even like? I get he was strict, but is that it? Doesn't sound like he was being an idiot, and I completely understand a no alcohol rule. You are the idiot and you know it. You're not here because you wanted to ask us, but you're proud of what you did and want to show off. Good for you, I guess. My husband has a teen daughter, Debbie. Debbie's mom left her right after she was born, and my husband's brother helped him raise her. Debbie even sees him as her dad, and she calls them both Dad. When we got married, we had to find a home very close to my brother-in-law's home because of Debbie. Because of this, we didn't have many options and ended up with a 2-bedroom house. We could buy a bigger house with more rooms elsewhere, but Debbie wouldn't live anywhere that wasn't close to her uncle's home. This has caused some problems for us. We have a toddler son and Debbie won't share a room with him or let us move to another home. I finally got tired of her attitude, and when she was at school I put all of my son's stuff in Debbie's room. When she came back home she started yelling at us, saying she won't share. I said fine, then you can have the couch. She ran to her room and called her uncle. Her uncle took her to his home and she said she won't return unless we put my son out of her room. I told my husband he should just let her live with her uncle. He's like a dad to her and his home is very close to us and he can see her whenever he wants. This will solve all of our problems, but my husband thinks I'm an idiot and my in-laws all agree with her. Am I the idiot? Kicking your husband's daughter out like that would make you the idiot. When you marry someone with a kid, they come as a unit. That said, the degree to which your family's life is constrained is ridiculous. The best option is to move farther away so that you can buy a house big enough for your whole family. That means she will see her uncle less, but that's a less bad option than breaking up your husband and your stepdaughter. The bit where she won't let you move to a different house is giving a child too much control over your household. Sorry, what? She asked the teen to share a bedroom. Okay, it's not ideal to have her sharing with a toddler, but maybe she'll realize she can live a little farther away from the uncle. That young child is presumably sleeping in a public area or in his parents' room. The current situation is not fair to him at all. OMG, you both created this ridiculous situation by letting, checks notes, a child determine where you live. Imagine letting a teen make these decisions for you. Be an adult, grow up, move, and she can visit her uncle frequently. If she throws a fit and says she wants to live with her uncle once you move, it's your husband's choice as how to manage that. 1000% this. When it said, Debbie won't let us move, I was like, you mean the teen won't let you leave? How the heck? They also both created this situation by having a second child they didn't have room for. What was the plan for housing the son originally? Did OP always plan to rehome Debbie when the son was old enough? They've had 4 years to plan for a problem they knew was coming and did nothing. My boyfriend, 27, and I, 26 female, have been dating for 2 years. He works full-time, but he's also an amateur actor, which is his true passion. I've seen him in a couple of small community plays since we've been dating, but he's always had smaller parts. Recently, he landed a leading role in a play put on by a much larger local production company, and I couldn't be happier or prouder of him. He's very excited about it too, obviously. They've been rehearsing 3 or 4 nights a week for almost a month now, and opening night is set for 3 weeks from this coming Friday. He's been working his butt off, and I can tell how much this means to him. But I started noticing that he was coming home from rehearsals reeking of cigarette smoke. Now, my boyfriend doesn't smoke, and if he did, we wouldn't be together because I have severe asthma and smoking is a huge trigger. So I asked him about it, and he said that some of his castmates smoke, but there's also smoking in the play. He said the director wants to be as authentic to the source material as possible, and some of the characters smoke cigarettes throughout the play. I honestly didn't even think that sort of thing was allowed anymore, but apparently our state allows indoor smoking if it's part of a play or performance, as long as there are written statements on any advertising and promotions. I asked my boyfriend how much smoking is in the play, and he said it's not constant, but it's quite prevalent. I asked him if they plan to have any performances that are smoke-free, and he said not that he's aware of. I asked him if that's something he could talk to the director about, and he said it's not his place to question the creative vision of a director. I told him if that's the case, I won't be able to watch it because of my asthma. He immediately got defensive and started trying to reason with me by saying that the theatre was pretty big and well ventilated, and he doesn't care if I sat way in the back, as far from the stage as possible. He just wanted me to be there. I told him I couldn't risk jeopardizing my health and that it's not my fault that his director is so behind the times that they're putting on a play that allows for indoor smoking. It's 2023. Why is that even a thing anymore? I told him that I would obviously come to support him if there wasn't smoking involved, but I couldn't risk damaging my lungs. I told him that I would, of course, come and watch the next play he's in, and he snapped, "But what if there isn't another play? What if this is the last leading role I get? Tomorrow is promised to nobody, and this means a lot to me, and it would mean even more for you to be there." I told him he was being dramatic, and that my long-term health was more important to me than a play. I do feel bad that I won't be able to see him act in his first leading role, but it's not worth it to me to be around indoor smoking for 2 hours. Am I the idiot? Honestly, I struggle to imagine a situation where a few people smoking on stage would create enough smoke that could trigger someone's asthma in the back row. I'm not saying it's impossible, but if you can walk around in public without constant asthma attacks, you can tolerate a freaking theatre production like this. I told him he's being dramatic and that my long-term health is more important to me than a play. Sadly, you think so little of your boyfriend's weeks of hard work. You are the idiot. I mean, at least try to go. Bring a bunch of preparations, and if you start to get seriously worried, then step out. OP, get a mask and wear it to the performance. Sit in the back. During intermission, go outside away from other people, remove the mask and breathe fresh air. This is important to him, and if I were in your shoes, that's what I'd do. Good luck. Am I high? Have people voting "you are the idiot" never met asthmatics? Is this director coked out of his mind? As an asthmatic and someone who's done lots of community theatre, OP, you are not the idiot. There are plenty of fakes that really look authentic these days. There's absolutely no excuse to use real cigarettes anymore. I'm a stage manager too, and I was legit shocked by this. There are so many non-tobacco choices, and they will use real cigarettes? Personally, I would never work on a show like this. I don't care about the director's vision. The union here would never allow cigarettes in the show because it's not only dangerous to the actors in the show, up to the audience as well. Not to mention ruining the venue with that smoke as well. Everyone really wants OP to make all these accommodations and at least try for a play. Plays should not be a risk to your health. I highly doubt the boyfriend really knows how well ventilated the theatre is, and it's not anyone's place here to decide how sensitive OP's asthma is. I can't understand at all why so many people think this is worth someone's well-being. Severe asthma is no joke. I, 26 male, am married to Freya, 25 female, and we're expecting a baby together. My sister-in-law, Molly, 24, is the golden child in my wife's family. My wife has mentioned that to me before, and she doesn't speak to her parents very often, or her sister for that matter. My experiences with Molly have been interesting, to say the least. When I first met her, she asked me intrusive questions about intimacy, money, etc. We left because she wouldn't stop. She judged my dad for having me as a single dad by choice. That was after she called me a liar, insisted that I had a mom, and when she accepted that it was just my dad and me, she insisted I must have been adopted by him. She called him selfish and said he was a bad father. All kinds of things. We left then too because she again would not stop saying that crap. She always believes she can tell people what to do and they should listen because she thinks she knows best about everything. Some other things she said to me or argued with me over. She told me I should hate my dad for intentionally being a single dad. She said my dad was a stupid idiot who picked a dumb name for me. She told me I should demand the woman who gave birth to me should step up and be my mom. She told me I should change my name to James or Christopher and have a normal name. Freya and I became more distant from Molly when Molly seemed to seek us out just to share more of her wisdom with us. Then, a few months ago, she reached out to Freya and said she had nobody else but their parents and how her friend had broken up with her by calling her names and saying she was insufferable. Freya was trying to see if she and Molly could be closer. She said Molly apologized to me and they were slowly building up a relationship. Then, several days ago, Molly asked what we were naming our baby. Freya said we weren't sharing it until the baby was born. She told us to name the baby Emily or Henry. She said that we shouldn't give the baby a dumb name like mine. Freya told her we were not taking suggestions for names. She told me that I shouldn't be like my dad. I should be better and not give our kid a dumb name. She brought up how her parents thought she had the best baby names. Freya told her she didn't care what their parents thought, that this was our baby and we would name them. Molly told Freya that she shouldn't discard their parents since they raised them and she was always the wiser one and people need to listen to her more because she gives out good advice to people. Then she suggested my father had bad motives for having me alone and I snapped. I told her it was no wonder nobody liked her or wanted her around because she was a spoiled, judgmental idiot and I was sick and tired of hearing her stupid advice because she was clueless. Molly burst into tears and called me an idiot. Freya laughed and told me it was what she was thinking. Molly sent a text to Freya after saying what I said was so mean. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. It is telling that Molly's friend can't even stand her anymore. Makes me wonder if her behaviour with you and Freya is very common and nobody really likes her because of it. Stay away from her and her drama. I hope she learns her lesson someday or she's going to face a lot of lonely times. Sometimes speech is silver, but silence is golden. Your sister-in-law needs to learn that people don't need to know every thought rattling around her head or how she feels she's better than everyone else. I'm sorry, but Molly won't change. If more people called her out on her behaviour more often, perhaps she'd have turned out less hateful and less unlovable. But it's too late to change her now. All you can do is avoid her. Don't let Molly in your home ever again. And good teamwork with your wife there. My older sister is getting married in June and her wedding is child-free. I have 2 young children who are breastfed, toddler would be fine, baby won't take a bottle so wouldn't be, and can't be away from them for extended periods. My toddler is also autistic and she won't cope with being babysat by someone she doesn't know. All her trusted family members will be at the wedding. A few nights ago, she asked me if I'd match the bridesmaids with my dress. I was confused because I already told her I wasn't going. She knows I can't be away from the baby and don't have anyone to watch the toddler. She got upset and said she thought I'd figure something out as it was such a big day for her. There isn't anything to figure out, as I told her. Even if I had someone to watch my toddler, no one would be able to have the baby, so it wasn't possible for me to attend. I apologise, but I'm not making the effort. To be honest, I feel like a sack of potatoes since having my youngest. I couldn't imagine much worse than getting dressed up to be uncomfortable for 6 hours, not to mention needing to take frequent pumping breaks. She's obviously in a bad mood and is now trying to find a way for me to come. I told her that, unfortunately, when you make broad demands, some people can't attend. If she wants me there so badly, she should let me bring my children. She's enlisted our parents in convincing me, which they haven't managed. She's now commenting on how I'm ruining her day. Am I the idiot? I understand her being upset with me, but I don't think it's entirely my fault. Not the idiot. She has the right to choose a child-free wedding. You have the right to not attend. She is the idiot because you gave her your answer and she doesn't want to face the consequences. So she's trying to force you to give up. You're not ruining her day. If it's ruined by her. Choosing a child-free wedding means expecting and accepting that some of your guests, including family, will not attend. Yeah, it's an invitation, not a summons. You're not refusing to go. You can't go. Refusing implies a choice. You don't have one. You can't leave your autistic child with strangers, and you cannot leave your baby to go hungry. Letting a baby go hungry for hours is not an option morally, maternally, or legally. She must have known you'll have problems attending her wedding if she makes it child-free. She can't blame that on you. You'd think it'd be common sense.